All right. Wow, we've got audio, don't we? How far we've come from the days when everyone said, I can't hear you. All right. So, welcome to May Day for 5051. All right, so the way I do my opening addresses is pretty much always the same. I do the good and then I do the bad. Because let's open with something good. Because God knows there's too little good in today's world. All right, so here's the most surprising thing. There are 4 billboards in Indiana that are promoting this event. Right? So in 3 months, 5051 has come from something that was a thread on a message board to something that has a presence in the real world besides a single protest at a time. All right. So, now the best thing of all is when you're an organizer, so many things fall to you. And I'm not complaining. I love what I do. I think I'm the happiest I've ever been despite having Trump in the White House. However, the best part is that other people in the community step up and just take the reins and run with something. And in this case, I would like 3 people to come up. Do we have Joe Gaspacho, Yogi Taylor, and Amy Kay? Yeah. All right. There's space up here. Okay. So Joe Gaspacho, who's not apparently here yet, he was the person who came to us and said billboards are important. And then Yogi helped make it happen, and Amy has stepped up and taken charge of security when we were in a hard spot. So, first of all, thank you. And the second thing is, it's nice when you can appreciate people with a gift. So, Yogi, I know you drink margaritas. Have some very nice tequila. And Amy, I had to guess at what you drink, but I got you cinnamon rum cream. I hope you like that. And that is a local Indiana product there. I couldn't get Indiana tequila, but I could at least get Indiana rum. Okay? All right. So thank you all. And Amy, do not fall off the stage. That would ruin it. All right. You did. And what Amy did in addition to doing security is she made the stage I'm standing on, and for one of the few times in a construction project, I didn't have to do anything. It was a magic thing. All right. Now, most of you here know us as we're protest folk. We come out here, we make a bunch of noise, then for 2 weeks, we disappear. Well, this last one, oh my, it should be the, let's hope those screws hold. Okay. Now at the last event, we raised a food drive where we gave away 2.2 tons of food. Okay? So if anyone tells you that protests don't matter, we have fed 2.2 tons of food to people in the Indiana area. That's a hell of a thing. Okay? Now I could do the math on it at 1,100 calories a day or 1,500 calories a day, but man, that's a lot of math. So, all right, now that food went 30% to HVAF, which is homeless veterans and families, and that's right, and 70% to Food Not Bombs. Now the first question you're going to have is why in the world do we do 30% and 70%? So veterans are 2% to 3% of the population as a general rule of thumb. And we think the contribution a veteran makes is damn important, so we just applied a multiplier of 10 to it. Is that the right number? I don't know. But at least we tried to do it right. And Food Not Bombs is a stand-up group of people that shows up at events and just feeds people and does the right thing time after time. And we stand with them. All right, now the food brought today is going to go to a couple places. So part of it's going to go again to HVAF because we want to continue a relationship, and we are going to support our veterans because Trump will not support veterans. All right. Now the other thing is we got two other types of charities that we're going to go to. One is we want to do a charity in the African American community that feeds people, and the other is a charity in the Latino community. Now I should tell you that I've picked those charities, but I will not lie to you and tell you that because I do not know those communities personally. What I will tell you is my phone number's on the website. You can send a text message to my phone if you know those communities and you know of a group that matters. Okay? And please send it after the event when I can focus. Now, I did talk to the local African American community and I got a bunch of names, but the person I got them from isn't here right now and things sometimes change. That's why I'd like additional input. And at our food drive, our member Pride, who is right there, Pride, wave your hands. She did a fantastic job of also stepping up and guaranteeing making the food drive happen. Okay. And the only reason Pride didn't get a gift is because I didn't know her well enough to guess what kind of booze she likes. I do now know she will get that at the next protest. No? All right, the next thing to know is, that's a little better. Okay, so we actually have an endorsement, if you can believe it, of all things. So my good friend Brad Lorton of the Central Indiana Democratic Socialist Alliance. Brad, you're here somewhere. There you go, brother. Brad has been at every one of our events, even the really cold ones and the really wet ones. And he spearheaded a movement within his own group to say that we should endorse these people. And that's a hell of a thing when you look at sort of the random background that we have. And I just want to hand the mic to him for him to say a few words. Woo!
Just a few words. Thank you.
Tell us why you did it.
Thank you. Well, because this is a movement of people. Every political movement needs to come to people. Needs to come to you. Needs to come to you. This is a people power thing. Democracy. And I'm going to tell you in a minute that that's what socialism is all about. But I'm going to make it clear here that what you're doing is important and that we need to keep it going. I will say in my speech that we're looking for long-distance runners, not just people that drop in every once in a while. You've got to stick with it because that's the only way we're going to defeat Trump. And so taking this to my organization to lend support to the Indiana 50501 movement is made because we got to go where the people are. Our organization has to identify with you. So we're on your side. I'm going to give this back, and I got a longer talk coming.
All right. Thank you very much, Brad. All right. Now, if you know anything about socialism, you can guess we came in for some questions, because we are not properly socialist. But what Brad did, because he has seen this kind of stuff for a long time, is he recognized that the overall getting aligned with a movement that's trying to move people, and I see all the people out there, excuse me, is more important than a perfect political alignment. Okay? One of the things that I've been saying for a while now is we've got to stop clutching our pearls. Okay? Not one of us here has perfect political beliefs. That certainly includes me. All right. Now, the next thing to understand is we made an important discovery this protest. A very important discovery. We have confirmed that Elon is a supervillain. Now, do you know why? Because he has aimed his weather machine at Indianapolis time and again. Right? I mean, picture it. You've got that man. He's in his mountaintop lair in a cave shaped like his own head. and he's pushing a button going, "Send the rain to Indiana!" All right. Next thing to tell you is we actually have a strategic advisor for the first time.
All right. Plans.
All right, so I am going to just say what a lot of you are thinking as you look up at the stage and you look down at 5051. You're saying something in the order of, wow, a lot of white folk there. Okay? Race is a hard thing to talk about in America because we get it wrong all the time. I get that. Okay? However, we don't want this to be a white movement. We don't view it as a white movement. But when we talk to people in the different communities, one of the things they say is, we're scared and we want you to use your damn privilege. I have heard that time and again. Now, the person who is our advisor, our strategic advisor, is a man from Indy who's a history teacher who has taught authoritarian governments. That is a perfect advisor. Now, guess where he's advising us from? Canada. Right? Now, as a black man, he said to me, I went to Canada because I knew if I stayed here, I would be in the protest movement and I'll be one among the first arrested. And you know what? Hell yes. So he goes to Canada with my blessing. However, if you are Timothy, the author of On Tyranny, and you ran away to Canada, no, that was cowardly. I'm sorry. Sure, Trump's going to come for you, but you're a Yale professor, and you are the literal author of the book On Tyranny. Somehow I think you could have stood up, man. All right. Next thing. And this is very much inside baseball, so just think, if you're not part of 5051 proper, just think about hating Trump for a minute. All right. So for the first 2 months, as movements grow, our leadership has gotten more and more Byzantine, as these things do. Anyone who's ever done nonprofit work knows exactly what I'm saying. So, over the past couple of months, we have grouped and we have clicked, etc. And now we have had, for the past little while, 2 separate leadership groups. And it's starting to feel like, oh my gosh, we have 2 secret cabals. This is a bad idea. And it was. And this week, on Tuesday, we merged them and we just have leadership. All right. And everyone who nudged us along the path, thank you. And we're listening to you. We're doing a better job. All right. Now, we have some graduations this month. 2 of our people who are core to our leadership are not here. And I just want to give a congratulations. Shrinking Eel and Gallifrey and Valkyrie, you graduated college today. That is happy. All right? When you're in the middle of this, it's hard to remember sometimes life goes on. Life goes on, and the sun will shine again, even if you look up and it looks like hell. All right. Birthdays. Do we have any May birthdays out there? All right. You there, come on down. And Nicole, come on up. No. Come on. All right. Will you give out some cupcakes?
Yay for May birthday!
Birthday to you. Come on, Amy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear ugly protester. Happy birthday to you. All right. Another birthday. Come on up. All right. Once the birthday folk get them, everybody else can take a cupcake. And I need to extend my thanks to Nicole Davidson, who baked these. When she asked me what she could do, I said, please bake some cupcakes.
Thank you.
And yeah, that sounds silly, but here's the simple fact. There is not a lot of joy out there in Mudville, people. So we will celebrate anything we can. All right. And now I have to give you the bad. Yes, I got to give you the bad, people. Without light, there can be no dark, and so on. All right. So if you look at our set, these are what we call chairs for the disappeared. Now, there's a lot more names that should be on there, but somehow in the transition from the truck to the stage, I don't know where they went. You all know lots of people have disappeared in America. So, Jose Abrego, we feel you. The two judges that were abducted, Professor Wang from IU, and all the others, and I will try and find those. And these chairs will be back until Trump stops deporting people. Take pictures, post them on social media. All right. I cannot believe, hey, look at that.
We got him.
All right. We have more flyers. So, Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, Judge Jose Luis Cano, Juan Francisco Mendez, Reverend William Barber, that's right, we're arresting priests now, Mahmoud Khalil, he was one of us, he was a damn protester. Professor Xiaofeng Wang, and if I screwed that up, I'm sorry. Marie Ange Blaze, she died in custody. That just happened. The unnamed 2-year-old, 7-year-old, and 4-year-old who had stage 4 cancer. Judge Hannah Dugan, who in addition to being arrested by Trump, has now been censored by her own branch of the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court. All right, so I will get these zip tied on here as soon as I find the zip ties. There's a theme, people. Okay. This is the country we live in. We live in a world where the president takes away children. Now, I don't care what you want to say about most presidents, Republican or Democrat. I don't believe that anyone prior to Trump would have been caught dead deporting a child with cancer. Everybody else was smart enough not to do that. All right. And yes, I am on my high horse, and this one I will not get off of. All right. Now, here's some other bad stuff. Does everybody know what Narcan is? All right. Go out and buy it now. RFK has announced that he's planning to stop distributing Narcan to first responders and civilians. Now, as a former heroin addict, that is hypocrisy of the highest level. All right, as I said, Trump began arresting judges last week. Now, here is something that infuriates me even more. 3 Democrats in Washington this week, Mifune, Nadler, and Kelly, took their names off the impeachment petition. And as I said in writing on Facebook last night, coward. Now, who here has a good opinion of AI right now? Anybody? Well, you will probably be then horrified to know that DOJ has assigned a college student to use AI. I don't know if ChatGPT or Grok, I don't care, they're both equally stupid, to rewrite the regulations at Housing and Urban Development. I don't make this stuff up. All I do is read the damn news. Other things, RFK has abandoned Ebola research. That's right, one of the most lethal hot zone plagues around. We are stopping our research into it. He has also, and dear God, Louis Pasteur, I'm sorry, He has abandoned germ theory. But if you're a dentist in Florida, you're going to make more money because Florida has banned fluoride in municipal water. This has been done once before in American history, and the result was a skyrocketing amount of cavities. So it's good to be a dentist in Florida, I guess. And in the most disturbing news of all, although honestly it's debatable, the Supreme Court is apparently going to endorse government funds for private religious schools, which means a death to the First Amendment. Okay? Just remember that. You were here when you heard it. Now, some of you are going to say, where do you get all this news, Scott? Well, I'm going to put that out next week, but here's all I do. There is a website called Memorandum, MEMEORANDUM.com, Memorandum. That is what's called a news aggregator, and unlike a lot of them, what it does is just look at everything and not try to weight it. It goes and does what's called clustering. Now, the reason why I'm a fan of that one is because I know the guy who writes it. He's been writing it for 20 years, and the right keeps trying to take it down. And that says to me it's got the right leanings. Okay. Not everyone out of Silicon Valley is bad. He's a friend of mine from the old days. All right, so the Indiana, so a couple other things. On the Indiana ban, we need some help. If you're interested in helping, I'm filling spots in a secondary leadership team. There's a lot of positions. I'm not going to tell you what they are because there's a lot of them. Come up and find me. People we have filled. Lori Doherty, thank you for your volunteer coordination. Social media, Taylor, you stepped up and are doing it across both A teams and B teams. Our tech guys, thank you. And Mary Hardin, wherever you are, thank you for stepping up and running press. All right, on the personal bad, this is a bit of a mea culpa. So, the last time I was up here, I apparently offended some people with my bad language. And I think this may be a bit of a generational perspective. So, doesn't matter, I still offended people. So here's what I did. I brought an old-fashioned swear jar, and I will put money in it if I break the rules. Now here's the fascinating thing, is the best part of this is the people you get to talk to. And I got to debate with someone who is old enough to be my mother. The question as to whether or not the F word is a sexual term along the same lines of saying, see, sucker, and so on. That was delightful. All right. And if I put money in there, it will get fed in as a donation. I will not simply take it back out. I did not, I was not on the mic then. All right. So, how's everybody feeling? All right. Thank you all for coming. And it is my delight to introduce the first speaker. Resisting Oracle, can you come on up?
How about a round of applause for Scott, our unspoken hero and our leader? Thank you, Scott. It is a pleasure to be back in front of you today. Thank you for coming out on this windy day where the weather was, might be a thunderstorm rolling in. I'm going to talk to you today about voting and the importance of voting. So friends, fighters, and fellow defenders of democracy. For more than 2 centuries, the United States has aspired to be a beacon of freedom and justice, a nation where the voice of the people, expressed through their vote, carries the weight of their will and shapes the destiny of our republic. But today, that voice is under siege, not from abroad, but from within, from the politicians in this very building, and from the brokers in Washington who would rather silence the people than serve them. Just over a century ago, our foremothers fought and won for the right for women to vote. Yes. Now, 100 years later, that hard-won progress stands at the edge of erasure. House Bill 122, called the SAVE Act, just passed the House of Representatives. And let me be clear, it is not about protecting elections. It is about suppressing votes. It is about entrenching power. It is a calculated and unconstitutional poll tax on women, people of color, the poor, the young, and the rural. The fraud isn't in the voters. It is in the system that these politicians have corrupted. It is in billionaires buying elections. It is in 7-hour lines in black communities while white suburbs walk through in 10 minutes. It is in courts that protect the powerful and not the people. It is in Citizens United, which decimated campaign finance law and handed democracy to the highest bidder. It is in Project 2025, the MAGA blueprint to hardwire authoritarianism into the heart of American government. And this isn't random. It is coordinated. Their plan to disenfranchise voters was published in Chapter 29, openly, in the Heritage Foundation's 2025 playbook. And the SAVE Act is not a one-off. It's part of a broader war, a war on women, a war on the poor, a war on the margins, and a war on democracy itself. These laws are unconstitutional. But in a Trump era, the Constitution is treated not as a charter to protect, but as an obstacle to destroy. So, what's next? Will women be barred from owning property, opening a bank account, making decisions about their own lives? We must ask ourselves, this is very important, why? Why are they doing this? Why would a country work so furiously to suppress and tyrannize its voting population? And I'm going to tell you why. Because they fear power that isn't theirs. They fear women's voices. They fear a diverse electorate. They fear a nation that looks forward instead of clinging to the past. When they say DEI is ruining America, what they really mean is that they are no longer guaranteed the top seat at the table. And we've seen this playbook before. After the Civil War, the 15th Amendment granted black men the right to vote. But almost immediately, Southern states created poll taxes, literacy tests, and grandfather clauses. They couldn't repeal the Constitution, and so they worked around it with bureaucracy, intimidation, and fear. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. The same spirit is alive in the SAVE Act. Voter suppression isn't new. It's just been modernized and digitized and disguised in legal language. So let's be crystal clear about what the SAVE Act would do. It requires in-person registration using limited forms of citizenship proof: birth certificates, passports, naturalization certificates, combined with a valid photo ID. But what if your name has changed? What if you live in a rural area hours from a registrar's office? What if you don't have the time or money to track down those forms of citizenship proof? They know the answer to this, and that is their point. You don't get to vote. And our vote will not be silenced. So why do this now? Why this bill? Why these restrictions? Because history has shown When we show up in big numbers, they lose. And they knew that after they assaulted our Constitution, that we will show up in historically enormous numbers. They know that our future doesn't keep them in a place of entitlement. Let's be honest. Widespread voter fraud is a lie. They invented it. Multiple investigations, state, federal, bipartisan, have found no evidence of meaningful fraud. Trump's own Justice Department said it. Republican election officials said it. Courts across the country confirmed it. But they needed a villain, so they pointed their finger at the voters. They pointed their fingers at you and me. They conjured a fraud that doesn't exist, so they could pass laws that serve one purpose only: to shrink the electorate and expand their grip on power. Because when elections are fair, we defeat them. When women vote, they lose. When young people vote, they lose. When people of color vote, they lose. When disenfranchised rural Americans who've really had it up to here by now show up, they lose. And that terrifies them because they believe that entitlement is their birthright. They can't accept that the America of the future might not be built in their image. So rather than broaden their appeal, they've chosen to narrow the electorate. And that isn't integrity. That's entitlement. It's about control, and it's about keeping what they think is theirs. But we're here to say voting is our right, and our votes will not be silenced. So let's talk about who this bill targets. 21.3 million voting-age Americans lack immediate access to the required documents. 60 million rural Americans may not be able to comply with in-person requirements. 69 million, that's 80%, of married women have changed their names, are at risk. 33% of married women do not have the documentation required by law. And marriage certificates, ironically, not accepted. Speaker Mike Johnson's answer to that question: the states can figure it out. And what I have to say to that is no, Mike. We've heard that line before, and all we've seen is one fiasco after another. And the ultimate irony, when you think about it, is that this bill punishes families as much as it does women. Women gave away their names to create new families so that they could share their name not only with their husbands, but with their children. And now these lawmakers have the audacity to weaponize that decision against us. How dare they? How dare they pit women's voting rights against their tradition of building a family under a single surname? Especially when that is what society expects of us, and in some places demands of us. This bill also punishes race, poverty, and it punishes gender identity. And this isn't a glitch. This is the system by design, and it is just the beginning. Project 2025, the actual plan for Trump's second term, calls for dismantling federal voting protections, appointing partisan loyalists to run elections, slashing mail-in voting, early voting, and same-day registration, centralizing election control under federal political actors, and expanding gerrymandering so that there is zero accountability. Their endgame is simple: permanent minority rule. Government by the few, for the few. But we still have a choice, and we still have a voice. And here's what we do, and we have to do it now. We have to know this law. The SAVE Act passed the House, but it has not passed the Senate. We must organize, mobilize, and educate now. We must help people get documents, especially women whose names don't match their birth certificates, especially rural voters and people of color, because we will leave no one behind. We must support legal action. Voting right groups are preparing lawsuits. Volunteer if you can. Donate if you can. And we have to fight gerrymandering. We have to demand independent redistricting commissions in every state. And this needs to be something we bring up in every election until it is fixed. It is critical. And finally, we have to vote in every election, every time. We can never take this right for granted again. And we have to show up in historically high numbers. Because if they are working this hard to take your vote away, then your vote must be damn powerful. We will not be erased, we will not be silenced, and we will not be going back. 250 years ago, on the day of our last protest, the first shots of the American Revolution rang out at Lexington and Concord. And a group of rebels had come together to say, fundamentally, you will not steal our country. It is founded on the principle of freedom. The birth of this nation began when that group of rebels decided to fight for representation. Those patriots, they didn't have all of the answers, but they knew they were in a fight for their future against a mighty force. And they didn't get it right every time, but they knew freedom expands or it perishes. They knew that freedom doesn't walk backwards, it marches forward. Freedom fights, and freedom rides or it dies. And now it's our turn. We are the 50-51 movement. We are the inheritors of every fight for justice that came before us. The fire of freedom burns within each of you. We rise now in the spirit of freedom, of suffrage, of civil rights, of revolution, and love of country. And we will win, not for ourselves alone, but for the America that still lives in our hearts. The America we believe in will never be taken from us, not today, not without a valiant fight. So I say to you now, go forward and stay strong, and stay loud, and stay free. Thank you.
Isn't she just fantastic? I love all our speakers, but that one, damn. All right, so as long as we're on the topic here, someone just walked up to me with a phone and said, and showed me a message and said, the judiciary just voted to allow Trump to deport U.S. citizens. Welcome to 2025, people. All right, I'm going to bring up Brad Lorton. All right, Brad Lorton, as I said, he's from the Central Indiana Democratic Socialist Alliance. I've been watching this man come to every rally, and I have learned a lot from him. I look at him and I see, yeah, he's done the thing. And Brad, here you go.
Mayday greetings from Central Indiana Democratic Socialists of America, the Powers and Mary Hapgood local. And I'd like to see a lot of you signed up and participate with us. May Day is International Workers' Day. It's Labor Day to the rest of the world. And the socialist movement, which I come from, is a workers' movement. It is a movement of people who believe that common humanity, you know the thing you're all born with? Common humanity and not labor and, or not capital and money is our enfranchisement into human society. It's the basis of our rights. This is a day to join that movement, my friends. And I myself, specifically as a former worker at both the state and federal government levels, and as an officer in both our friends at the American Federation of Government Employees and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, I stand in resolute solidarity with all the government workers who are today taking such savage hits from the likes of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Mike Braun. The ancient Greeks had a name for people power. They called it democracy. And frankly, brothers and sisters, that's what socialism is. It's people power, pure and simple, to be applied throughout our lives together on this planet. Socialism is the emancipation and democratization of our economic and social lives as well as our politics. Socialism is based on the idea that a better world is possible, that a better world's in birth, and that it is incumbent upon us to make our contributions to building that better world. Now, friends, I'm going to discuss a few R words today. The first R word is revolution. The 50501 movement, like the socialist movement, like the international workers movement, is a revolution. It's a people power revolution. It's a democratic revolution. It's not a civil war. Democracy negates violence, if anybody has checked their history book. The democratic revolution is not about violence. It's about changing the way society works, improving the way that we all live together, a better world. But what we got now, that ain't what it is. So we're organizing here to change that. Now another R word comes up right away, and that is remove. Remove Donald Trump from any access to political power. Remove Trump because he and his political movement are destructive to a free and functional society. And I look at it, every one of you, I want to burn this idea into your brain. Time is of the essence. You've seen the damage that's already been perpetrated by Trump and his MAGA minions. We can't wait until 2026, let alone 2028, to get rid of Trump. The amount of damage to our society that he's already wrought can only be dwarfed by the amount of damage that he can do in the future and in the near future. Trump is destroying what little modicum of democracy we have left. Our aim, all of us here, and whatever political stripe you people are, I think all of us have the aim of advancing a democratic and functional society. And that leads me to the next word, reverse. Reverse the damage that Trump has already done and will continue to do. Do I really need to recite the litany of inhumanities, unfairnesses, and injustices that Trump has already committed in office? Hey, they're headlines in the net every day. I wanted to say the newspapers, but nobody gets the newspapers anymore. And isn't it simple enough to deduce the incredible catastrophe that awaits by allowing these injustices to continue, by allowing that god-awful dictator to stay in office? Can we not see all of the horrors of Trumpist fascism in the ridiculous funding cuts and disruptions that it has imposed upon services needed by millions and millions of our fellow citizens, including war veterans and senior citizens? Can we not see in the terrible stories of overt repression, in the treatment of immigrants, even U.S. citizens now, as you just heard, even to children who are U.S. citizens, even to a 4-year-old cancer patient? Can we not see it in the violation of the core human rights of Mahmoud Khalil? Can we not see it in the arbitrary deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia? And cannot we speculate about the horrors that are about to be perpetrated? It has to end. It has to be reversed. But brothers and sisters, we can only move forward. We're now at a point where we have to create a new world from the ashes of the old. We look forward, and we know we must strengthen our democracy, strengthen our commitment to human rights, and strengthen our commitment to human dignity. There is little use of simply going back to the way it was. Those little cushy days of Obama and Bill Clinton are gone. And that's because the politics that they represented wasn't quite up to the task of stopping an authoritarian like Trump. We have to go beyond the old limitations, or we cannot defeat Donald Trump. And that brings about another R word. We must reclaim our people power throughout the government, throughout the nation, and throughout the world at large. That's how we're going to build a better world. The Democratic Socialists of America has a platform called Workers Deserve More. How appropriate for International Labor Day, huh? While I don't have the time to go into all the details, I can tell you that the DSA Workers Deserve More platform fights for thriving working class communities, an economy that is by and for and of the working class, a working class foreign policy to foster relations between the peoples of the world, and it goes out especially to the oppressed peoples of the world, particularly those in Palestine. That is the better world we seek. Now, someone mentioned Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Well, I'm a big fan of his dad. I got to meet his dad when I was a kid. Robert F. Kennedy Sr. said, "Those with the courage to enter the conflict will find friends in every corner of the globe." It's a huge, daunting task to enter the conflict, but enter it we must, because our very existence is threatened by the tyranny that Trump and MAGA impose on our world today, every day. In Canton, Ohio, in 1918, Gene Debs. I was born in Terre Haute, about 1.5 miles from where Debs was born. Gene Debs said at his trial in Canton, Ohio, "They who are animated by the unconquerable spirit of the revolution, the social revolution, they who have the moral courage to stand erect and assert their convictions, stand by them, fight for them, go to jail for them, or go to hell for them.
Have a physical dollar. Do you have a physical dollar bill?
If need be.
I will give it that.
They are writing their names in this crucial hour. They are writing their names in faceless letters in the history of mankind. We must keep up that struggle in our times. We cannot simply be sprinters. We can't be short-term runners. We have to be long-distance runners. And then we're pursuing a better democratic arrangement than we have now. All of us must do our share to go forward. So let me sum up, and let's see how you people feel about some of these ideas. What we got now is unacceptable. What we had in the past was inadequate, and what we struggle for is a massive improvement in our social and political life together. We must remove Trump and Musk and their MAGA minions from power. We must reverse the damage that they have done and will continue to do. We must reclaim a just and democratic future that enhances our common humanity and our human dignity. And in that pursuit, the Democratic Socialists of America and the entire American Socialist movement and the broader American political left stand resolute. And so must we all. We must be long-distance runners in this struggle. Please join this struggle. This is the day to do it. Keep supporting these 50501 rallies. Join DSA. We got a booth over here. We'd love to talk with you. Make a difference!
How's everyone doing? That ain't loud enough. Come on, make some noise! All right, so we've already established this is the swear jar, right? Well, I'm Kim Saylor, and if you met me, you knew I was going to get up here and owe this swear jar $1. But I'm going to pay it for everyone. Say it with me. Fuck Donald Trump! See, I borrowed that $1 just so I could say that. All right, next I am super excited to have everybody welcome to the stage Dianye Dior, a black and brown trans woman of the trans experience. Give her a round.
Hey y'all! Hey y'all! Okay. Whew. My name is Dianye Dior Valentina. I am black. Ooh, I don't like where this mic is. I'm gonna like move it. No, I'm not into it. Okay. My name is Dianye Dior Valentina. I am black. I am brown. I am a trans person. I am a woman. I am a survivor of systems that tried to break me. I am a truth teller, even when the truth is inconvenient. I am a fighter for those this country often tries to forget. And today, I do not come to ask for permission. I come standing in power. I come rooted in purpose. And I speak not just for myself, but for every voice that's been silenced, everybody that's been legislated out of existence, and every spirit still daring to rise. Because we are still here, and we are done being quiet. Every single day of this last legislative session, I walked into the Indiana Statehouse with my head held high, not because it's easy, but because I know what's at stake. Every time I pass through those doors right behind me, I carry more than just my name. I carry the voices of the unheard, the pain of the overlooked, the power of the unstoppable. Every marginalized voice, Every young queer person afraid to speak. Every trans woman who's been told her life is disposable. Every family fighting to survive with dignity. This fight is personal to me, but it belongs to all of us. I'm not into this mic, y'all. Okay. From the first time that I stepped onto that marble floor, I knew that I was not just showing up for myself. I was walking in the footsteps of those who no longer could. I was carrying the weight of generations, those who dreamed, resisted, and still were not seen. I carried the dreams of those who were silenced. The memory of those this state tried to erase, and the vision of the world we are brave enough to build. And on this May Day, International Workers' Day, I honor every laborer, every freedom fighter, every hand that has built this country brick by brick while being denied a seat at the table. We know the truth. Our liberation is bound to economic justice, and we will not rest until queer, trans, black, brown, immigrant, and disabled workers are respected, protected, and paid what we are owed. They are criminalizing trans lives, turning our existence into a crime. They are banning abortion, stripping us of our right to choose, to survive, to live freely. They are gutting healthcare, letting the most vulnerable die in silence. They are banning books because they fear what the truth might teach us. They are scapegoating immigrants, blaming the backbone of this country for its own failures. They are locking up the poor while the rich write the laws that keep them safe. They are silencing voters because when we rise, they lose. They are targeting the disabled, treating access like charity instead of justice. They are attacking queer youth, trying to snuff out the fire before it can fully burn. They are dismantling indigenous sovereignty because colonization was never just history, it's still policy. And now, they're trying to erase our entire existence. It has a name, Project 2025. No hate, no fear, everyone is welcome here. 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 No hate, no fear, everyone is welcome here.
No hate, no fear, everyone is welcome here.
So let's be very, very clear. Project 2025 is not just a policy agenda. It is a 900-page fascist blueprint, a hostile takeover of our democracy. Written by people who believe some of this shit shouldn't even exist. Here's what they're planning: to fire nonpartisan public servants and replace them with loyal extremists. They're planning to erase LGBTQ+ people from federal protections. They're planning to shut down the Department of Education because of an informed public is harder to control. They're planning to defund public health because keeping us sick keeps us silent. They're planning to ban abortion nationally with no exceptions and no mercy. They're planning to abolish DEI because equity scares them. Thank you, I appreciate you. And they're planning to turn the federal government into a weapon against its own people. But hear me now, we will not allow it. We will fight this plan, page by page, policy by policy, lie by lie. When our rights are under attack, what do we do? When our rights are under attack, what do we do? When our rights are under attack, what do we do? That's right. They say this is about bathrooms. Just like they once said it was about water fountains. But let's tell the truth. It has never been about safety. It's always been about power, about control, about deciding who is allowed to belong. They say it's about protecting children, but the only thing they're actually protecting is white supremacy, patriarchy, and the status quo. They say it's about religious freedom, but it's really about religious control. Their religion, their rules, their America. This is not a moral panic. It is a coordinated attack, one funded by billionaires, amplified by hate, and dressed up in the language of values. We are not asking for special treatment. We are demanding the freedom to exist, to thrive, to live without fear. Equality gives everyone the same thing. Equity gives us what we actually need to survive. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
As a black and brown trans woman living in a time of open war against our communities, I still believe everything that has been within me this whole time. I know that a better world is possible. I believe that science is real because our survival depends on truth, not denial. I know Black Lives Matter because our brilliance is eternal and our liberation is overdue. I believe that no human is illegal because borders were drawn with blood, not justice. I believe that love is love because no state, no law, no politician can regulate the human heart. I believe that women's rights are human rights because our bodies are not battlegrounds. I believe that trans rights are not up for debate because our existence is not theoretical, it's real, lived, and sacred. I believe that queer rights are also human rights because joy, gender, and freedom belong to all of us. I also believe that kindness is everything because even in resistance, we carry grace. And since it's our bodies, it's our choices. We will never again belong to the state, ever. These are not slogans. These are non-negotiables. This is our truth. This is our line in the sand. Whose lives matter? Trans lives matter. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Whose lives matter? Trans lives matter. Whose lives matter? Black lives matter. Whose lives matter?
Trans lives matter.
Black 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 lives matter.
Whose rights? Our rights. Whose rights?
Our rights.
Whose rights?
Our rights.
Whose rights?
Our rights.
Whose rights?
Our rights.
Whose rights?
Our rights.
That's right. To every black mama who's ever prayed her child home safe. To every queer teen whispering affirmations to themselves in the mirror. To every undocumented worker moving mountains in silence. To every disabled person fighting to be seen as whole. To every trans woman like me walking this world with both grace and armor. I see you, I honor you, and I carry you. You are not invisible. You are not disposable. You are not alone. You are brilliant. You are necessary. You are divine. And I swear to you, I will not stop until our people are safe. Not until our lives are valued, and not until our futures are free. They want us to believe that we are small, but we come from ancestors who built nations. We are descendants of survival, descendants of rebellion, descendants of love that refuse to die. To the architects of Project 2025, to the think tanks and puppet masters, to the politicians who trade lives for power, you are on notice. You can rig your systems, rewrite your laws, stack your courts, fund your hate, dress it up in patriotism and policy, but you will never erase us. You will never, ever scare us back into silence. You will never stop this movement because it didn't begin with you, and it sure as hell will not end with you. You built your platform on domination, but we built ours on truth, on love, on a promise that we will not go back. So the man clawing at power with blood on his hands, you want control over our bodies? You want to make us afraid? We are not afraid. Don't worry about it. We're not just coming to impeach you. We're coming to impeach you by the damn pussy. Impeach him by the 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 pussy. Somebody got me. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. That was a lot. I think everybody should be. Sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, look, they gave us the dollars because we just said pussy way too many times.
Way too many times. Right. Too many. Okay. We are done being polite. We are done playing by rules that were never written for us. We're done waiting for justice to trickle down from broken systems. Our bodies, our lives, our power, our rights. Our bodies, our power, our body, our power, our body, our power. You wanted a cultural war? Well, you've got one. But guess what? We've got the culture, we've got the people, and we've got the righteous fire of truth on our side. So like I said before, every day I walk into that Indiana Statehouse, not as a visitor, but as a witness, a protector, a warrior for the people. And let's tell the truth. Here in Indiana, this session, our state's leadership signed off on some of the most dangerous, heartless, reckless legislation we have seen in years. Bills that criminalize the poor instead of addressing poverty. Bills that attack trans youth instead of actually protecting their futures. Bills that strip away DEI, they silence teachers, ban books, and erode the basic dignity of our entire communities. These are not just policies. They are attacks. And the people behind them, they know exactly what they're doing. But guess what? We're still here. We're still watching, and we are still resisting. We are the children of freedom fighters. We are the ones who knock on doors, testify, mobilize, and never give up. We are the heartbeat of this state, and no build, no coward in a suit can silence a people who have tasted freedom. Whose state house? Our state house. Whose rights? Our rights. Whose state house?
Our state house.
Whose rights?
Our rights.
Whose state house?
Our state house.
Whose rights?
Our rights.
Whose state house?
Our state house.
Whose rights?
Our rights.
That's right. Y'all, I'm almost done, I promise. There's a lot of paper up here, y'all. Okay, so I want them to really hear us now. Really let them hear us now. Not just in this building, not just in Indiana, but across every corner where power tries to crush possibility. We will not be silenced. We will not be silenced.
We will not be silenced. We will not be silenced. We will not be silenced. We will not be silenced. Okay, I was overachieving there.
Also, here's another one. We will not be erased.
We will not be erased.
We will not be erased. We will not be erased.
We will not be erased. We will not be erased.
We will not bow, break, or disappear. We are still here, louder, prouder, and more unstoppable than ever. I am Dianye Dior Valentina. I am black. I am brown. I'm a trans person. I'm a woman. I am a daughter of survival, a vessel of truth, and the voice of generations who dared to dream beyond fear. I am the storm that they didn't see coming. Just like that rain. Just like that rain. And I am not going anywhere. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. When I say trans lives matter, y'all say Black lives matter, okay? Trans lives matter.
Black lives matter.
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 Justice for all, justice for all.
Justice for all. Justice for all.
Justice for all, justice for all.
Justice for all. Justice for all.
We're not asking for a seat at the table. We're building a new one.
All right, thank you, Dianye. Okay, so everyone's told us that we need to march sooner, and the answer is we're marching now. So, Dianye and Kim are leading it. Just wait for them. They're going to go out that way, and I'm going to fill a little time while they lead off. All right, so the first thing to know is that we are committed to nonviolence. Okay, now. Something for people to be aware of. This is a sign, and I agree with the sentiment. I do not agree with the fact it's a damn weapon. So these were left behind at the last event, and we confiscated them because that's mean. So please use cardboard and poster board. At some point, the police will notice and will really be upset with us. The one and only thing Donald Trump could do to tank his approval rating would be to stand in front of a camera and say, Black and Latino people are as fully human as any white man or woman. They are possessed of the same inalienable rights and deserving of the full enjoyment of those rights and those opportunities they promise, opportunities that have for too long been denied. Yeah, that would tank his approval rating. Thank you, sir. We have a meeting on 5/17. That one's a little different. We're going to do a picnic in a park. All right? So just pay attention. The other thing to know is we're selling T-shirts, people. There's a merch table over there. Right? That funding goes to fund this kind of stuff. Thank you.